This is a good time to get that thing working again. I couldn't agree more.
1 for 3 on the night, 2 for 13 on the series. Rangers are getting it in, despite their lack of prowess through the season, they're getting an awful lot of shots against Philadelphia. They had 70 through 2 games. They already have 20, and we're only halfway through regulation of this one. Rangers shoot it down. Philadelphia on the near side drops it to Howe from cross, but up front they have Zezel with Kerr and Sinisalo. Rangers now cut off the center ice, so Howe wraparound. Hanlon can't stop it. Zezel on the far side. It goes to Sinisalo in the corner. Behind the net, Zezel in front. Shot, score by Kerr! Incredible, like a lightning bolt.
You know what? Zezel was trying to hit Mark Howe moving in from the point, and Kerr reached behind him to grab the pass. What a play by Tim Kerr, but Zezel was trying to hit Howe as he had moved into the slot, had really got that passing seam wide open, and all Kerr did was reach behind him, grab the puck. He fooled everybody on the ice but himself. And the Flyers quickly tie this hockey game, but a nice play by Kerr. Everybody, even the defenseman, or pardon me, the player who was playing on that side, Kelly Miller, was going to move to Howe.
You'd wonder how Ledyard was playing so far off Kerr. Kerr scored 54 goals during the regular season. He's on the power play. You got to be on top of him. You got to move him out of there, but that was not the case. And Kerr just brought the Flyers right back into this thing, 3-3.
In the first period, the Rangers went up 2 goals on a power play. The Flyers got it back 45 seconds later. Here the Rangers go up on a power play by 1 goal, and the Flyers get it back 58 seconds later. Outlet through to Brook on the right wing at center ice. In at the Flyer line. Coming over the line is Sundstrom. Drop pass, and there's a shot, and Lindbergh at an angle, deflected back to Beck. Beck around behind the Ranger net as they're showing a lot of offense tonight in New York. They work to the near side, pivot inside Howe. Sundstrom behind the net to the far corner. Goes back to the slot to Beck. A shot, kick save, and there was Lindbergh just getting back as it appeared Bob Brook might have a chance at the rebound. So the Flyers go around to the far side. Cockett's going to be a bit late. Cut off by Kelly Miller. Dives over Miller and gets it through at center, and then Beck gets a part of Ron Sutter's skate as it appeared he might have a 2-on-1, and the Flyers then take it at center ice. They can't go into the zone because Brook is harassing Philadelphia's Cockett all the way trying to get out of the zone. And finally, the Rangers slide it all the way down, and they say no icing. Flyers had a play. Rangers change on the goal. The Flyers make some changes too. As on the near side, Carson is hit hard and buried by Willie Huber, and the puck is jabbed through to Marsh back to the Philadelphia zone. We have 8:39 remaining in this second period, 3-3, as the Flyers have come back from 2-0 and 3-2, and in essence have scored 3 of the game's last 4 goals. We get the stoppage now on the dump in Philadelphia with 8:33 remaining in the second period, tied at 3.
Good check by Huber as he came across from the penalty, or pardon me, from the players' bench to Lindsey Carson. Did not see him coming, blindside, and he just drilled him. But for a player his size, he's not that aggressive. 6'5", almost 6'6", 225, 27 pounds.
I think if he's known for anything, it's his big shot.
Right. Flyers lift it in. Ledyard cuts it down, chases it, retrieves, shovels it up on the far side, and New York looks, rolls it on that left wing side, but there's Prop to slide it back, pivot, and start up the center ice. Lifting it through on the far side, scooping it into the zone with Dave Brown, and then Ledyard took it off. Fights past Brown's check, puts it at center. Prop stop, followed up by the Rangers' George McPhee. He's checked on the near side, and Prop takes it away and gets it up on the far side at center. Now James Patrick coming off the bench, puts it into the Philadelphia zone. Marsh takes it there, chased back in deep by Patey. Remember, he said the great forechecker, man in front. McPhee to the point. They wind up Ledyard. There's a shot deflected behind. And that was the Rangers' good forechecking against Philadelphia, and they're going to have a penalty. For the Flyers, a careless play results in another Ranger power play with 7:46 remaining second period, tied at 3.
Tripping. That's the call on Murray Craven. It'll come at 12:14 of this second period. The Rangers will be on their 4th power play. They're 2 for 3.
The last 4 penalties called, not counting this one, have resulted in 4 power play goals, 2 aside. Craven with 2 minutes on the air. The penalties in the game even at 5.
All 4 calls are tripping calls as well.
Right. Right, Howe out with McCrimmon and Sinisalo with Ron Sutter. The Flyers around to the near side. Sinisalo is able to wheel it past Willie Huber. Comes to center ice, and the Rangers working up the middle. Rutsalainen. Line 2 at the Philadelphia line. Spins to the near side. drives it around behind the net. McCrimmon on the far side tries to flag it down. Sandstrom does. Pokes it back in the corner. Centering pass from Hedberg. Trying to find Pavlich coming off the boards on a give and go. Flyers pick it off and ice it. Philadelphia with only 13 shots in the game, and they have 3 goals. As Gilbert's got a flying Ruotsalainen, cuts to the near side. Overskated, so did Philadelphia, and they play through to Hedberg at the point. He's allowed to penetrate. Pass off to the far side, and Propp read that. Not a good play by Hedberg, who's tied up at his line. Propp going to force the Rangers in deeper. With 1:05 remaining on the power play. 6:50 remaining second period. Flyers have outscored the Rangers here 2-1. Stolen by Propp at center ice. Throw down that left wing. Racing into the corner. Zezzel with an angle shot. Way wide of the net. Back to the point to Propp. Propp into the corner. Tries to get around James Patrick. Offensive right corner. In there, James Patrick along with Sandstrom and Philadelphia's Brian Propp. We get a standoff. And now for the first time tonight, boos are called. 3-3 the score if you've just joined us. Ron Sutter out along with Sinisalo to kill the remaining 45 seconds on Murray Craven's penalty. Crossman and Marsh, the defensemen, and the Rangers have James Patrick out. And there goes Rogers constantly, Bobby, turning his body into the face-off man. I thought that's a no-no. There he does it again, but Ron Sutter wins the draw. There's a shot in by Sinisalo high. Grabbed by Hanlon and dropped off. And the Rangers push it up to Rogers at center ice. He's got Steve Patrick on his left. Into the zone, round to the far side. Rangers dig it out, trying to come to the near corner. There's a collision. New York digs it out, looks to play it back to the point, back to Ledyard, shot! Oh, and it's grabbed by Lindberg after there were 2 Rangers coming across his line of sight and shot down the ice.
That's a difficult save for a goaltender to make. Boy, I'll tell you, your concentration has to be so intense to follow that puck when you have 2 guys going across in front of your vision.
Rogers into the zone, shot up into the end seats off the stick. Steve Patrick, the deflection from the top of the Flyer defensive left wing circle defenseman Brad Marsh.
Flyers defenseman Brad Marsh did a good job on Patrick as Patrick was coming in to take that shot. Brad Marsh did not back in. He stayed up close enough to him that when the head went down and he took the shot, Marsh just reached his stick out, deflecting the puck up into the stands. And again, that's timing as well as not backing in, standing up close enough to challenge him. That once he puts the head down to shoot, you're in a position to deflect that puck up. 12 seconds remaining in the New York Ranger, the Philadelphia Flyer penalty to Murray Craven.
Zezzel and Propp. As Propp has had a series of mates tonight in the absence of his normal penalty-killing partner, Davey Poulin. Howard McCrimmon and the Rangers, Rogers with Don Maloney on the right, Steve Patrick on the left. Rangers generating a lot of shots to the point, and they're putting their big wingers in front, and obviously that has been one of the key strategies tonight. They had 9 of their first 15 shots from defensemen. Puck at the skate, roll back to the point. Zezzel picks up his man. Steve Patrick gets right away from Zezzel. Round behind the net, looks for a stuffer. Goes back to the left boards, clears to the point, and then bounces it right past Willie Huber. The penalty is over. Ledyard retreats into his own zone as Craven is out of the box. And Ledyard sits up behind as Propp goes off, and the Flyers have Kerr now on with Craven and Peter Zezzel. Howe with McCrimmon as the Rangers put it to Don Maloney. Up on that far wing, trying to find George McPhee. Flyers pick it off to Craven on the near side. Works to the right away from Huber, and then Huber took down Zezzel as Craven coming right on in a backhander. And the save is made as Craven made that rush from end to end. But at center ice, as Zezzel tried to join the play, Huber really drilled him. There's a puck into the Rangers zone to the left of Hanlon on a deflection. He clears it right back to the stick of Kerr. In front! Open net as Hanlon couldn't make the play. The Rangers come out in front. Hurd got it, scores! Timmy Kerr!
Well, the Rangers were really running around in their own zone. They were out of position, and sooner or later something had to happen, including goaltender Hanlon. And what did happen eventually was the Flyers gained control of the puck and were able to move out in front. And that big number 12, Timmy Kerr, has done it again for the Flyers. He's given them a 4-3 lead. Hanlon had the puck, had control of it, dumped it into the corner. The Flyers again aggressive. Kerr took that first shot. Craven looking for that rebound, and all of a sudden the puck is loose. And then big number 12 comes into the picture, moving in quickly, puts it up top on the forehand shot. That's Kerr's 3rd goal of the playoffs, and a leader for the Flyers, who are leading the Rangers right now, 4-3.
Murray Craven really made a nice play, not just going right to the goaltender. He didn't really knock him down. He just stood there to make Hanlon go around him. And Hanlon had a lot of trouble getting back in the net and getting back into set position.
That's the 2nd time in this series that Hanlon has been indecisive with control of the puck. and in both occasions it cost them a goal. And in both occasions it was Craven doing the Todd Bergen one time, Craven the other doing the forcing, and Kerr was the recipient of the play for goals. Now there's a play at the side of the net, and for the first time, the Rangers find themselves in the hole as they led it one time, 2-0. There's Kerr pulled down in front by Barry Beck, and Brian Lewis looks on again impassively as the Rangers shovel it. Stolen away by Bergen in front, and he had Kerr there for a tip. Deflected off to the far side, and now Derek Smith winds it around behind the Ranger net. Kerr is there, turns his back in on the play to Ruotsalainen. The Rangers finally cleared around to the left side, and Osborne now will try to lead it up as the Ranger fans exhorting their team to get something going. Flyers have now scored 4 of the last 5 goals in the game, after the Rangers took a 2-0 lead at the 16:41 mark of the first period. Crossman near side to Marsh. Marsh rolls it through at the Ranger line as he had nowhere to go with it. Taken off by James Patrick. Puck bounced to center ice with 3:54 remaining, and drilled in by Marsh off the skate of Lindsey Carson. James Patrick again tries to come out, and all he does is fire at the center ice. Marsh waits for his line to clear and drives it right back in. So Timmy Kerr with his second and third goals, 4 minutes and 52 seconds apart. One on the power play turned Philadelphia's 1-goal deficit into a 1-goal lead. Flyers have 3 men in the corner. They've dumped to the near side as Pocket runs into defenseman Willie Huber in front, and then Huber just grabs him down to make that Bob Brook. And it was so obvious. And I don't know why Brook put his hand up in the air as he deliberately grabbed the play. So another Ranger penalty with 3:25 remaining second period. Flyer power play coming up. They lead it 4-3.
Well, Bob Brook will pick up a 2-minute minor for a holding, so the Flyers will have their 5th power play opportunity of the game. Time of that penalty is 16 minutes and 35 seconds.
For that power play goal by Timmy Kerr. For his other goal, we give a case of Drake's Cakes and $100 to the Flyer Wives Fight for Lives and Leukemia Research. And they're the recipients, thanks to Drake tonight. $400. Howe right there, drive! Ooh, and Hanlon just got it on the outside of the right skate. Into the left wing corner. Cecil in front. Score! Timmy Kerr with a pure hat trick. He's gotten Flyers goals number 3, number 4, and number 5.
Barry Beck was the defenseman that was in position to make the play, and Kerr, he just allowed Kerr to stand there, and Zezel nailed him with an excellent pass right out of the corner. But again, Beck was right there with Kerr. He should have taken him out of the play. He did not, and that big fella, number 12, Timmy Kerr, was in position to ram it home. It's his 4th goal of the playoffs, his 3rd of the game, to give the Flyers a 5-3 lead. Time of that goal was 16 minutes and 42 seconds. With the Flyers on the power play, and that power play is hot tonight. Zezel working it out of the corner to Timmy Kerr, who was right alongside of Barry Beck and jammed it home.
That's the first Flyer hat trick on the road, Bobby and Eddie, and you remember it. Billy Barber scoring 4 at Minnesota in the semifinals in 1980. He did it in game number 3, and then Beck pulls down Carson in the offensive left corner of Philadelphia. Carson out with Ron Sutter. Sutter is bumped by Pavlich. He works at it, and finally we get a stoppage of play. And again, we say $500 as Drake's Cakes donates another case of Drake's Cakes and $100 to the Flyer Wives Fight for Lives and Leukemia Research as Timmy Kerr has a pure hat trick. And Eddie, I don't know, in the 18 years in Philadelphia's history, whether they've had a pure hat trick on the road. I recall one in Philadelphia by Rick McLeish in a 74 quarterfinal series against the Atlanta Flames. But this is the second, but the first in history on the road. Bang, 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 and he got them in 6 minutes and 36 seconds. And they're stunned here. There's a steal. Give and go into the corner as the Flyers spotted the Rangers a 2-0 lead, and then it became 3-2, but the Flyers have now banged in 4 of the last 5. Buck up on the far side, but they have to be careful now. The Rangers, they have nothing now to look for tomorrow, so they'll come back ferociously, and they have to. The Flyers cannot let up. There are no let-ups at any time in playoff hockey. There's a steal by Howe in front, and there was Propp trying to take a poke at it, and Ruotsalainen just shoved him off. As the penalty is over, we're at full strength on the ice. Here we go, and now we got Bob Brook and who? Craven.
Bob Brook actually got the jump, and Craven was at his, I think he still got his gloves on, and Brook went right after him. Was over in front of the New York Ranger player bench, and the linesmen are quick to jump in there and separate the two of them. big, important goals by Timmy Kerr. He's done it all year long, and he's doing it again here in the playoffs. He's got his second, third, and fourth goal to give the Flyers a 5-3 lead.
Of course, I got so excited. The reason the penalty was over was a power play goal by Kerr. The Flyers have 3 tonight of the 5 opportunities.
The altercation started along the boards where basically the players were hooking each other, and all of a sudden that extra shot was taken. So it'll be interesting to see what the calls are.
2:04 remaining, second period from the Garden. Flyers 5 and the Rangers 3.
Brooks picks up a penalty as a result of the altercation with Crossman.
With Craven.
Or pardon me, with Craven. I'm not sure if it's a 2-minute penalty, probably for roughing. It is for roughing. So the Flyers are going to have their 6th power play opportunity of the game.
Well, they're 2 for 2 in this period. In fact, Eddie, they've hit the last 3. When Hedberg went off near the end of the first, Rogers here early in the midway through the second, and Brook, Flyers are 3 for 5. And Timmy Kerr has 3 goals, 2 of them on the power plays. The Rangers come back, but you got to hang tough, my friends. This is a regulation 60-minute game, and you got to play all 60. Flyers work to the right side. Crossman out there with Howe, Zezel, Sinisalo, and Kern. Zezel has had 3 assists as the puck comes to center. Pivots beautifully inside Laidlaw to work into the right circle. Drops it in front. Kerr scores! Holy cow! He's got 4 goals in a row!
Oh, Gene, is the power play ever working?
Woohoo! And again we go with another case of Drake's Cakes and $100 to the Flyer Wise Fight for Lions Leukemia Research Fund. 4 goals in a row. The league record for playoff goals is 5. The record for goals in a period, I think, Mr. Kerr may have just tied or set.
Zezel made an excellent play in the pass in the power play, getting it back to Timmy Kerr, who was on his forehand. But again, Peter Zezel just going down the boards, looking and waiting. Just drops it back. Perfect time. Timmy Kerr just one-times it right by Hamlin to give the Flyers a 6-3 lead. That was Timmy Kerr's 5th goal of the playoffs, his 4th of the game. And the last 4 he scored have been big, important goals for the Flyers to give them that 6-3 cushion they currently enjoy.
And Crossman gets an assist with Zezel. Zezel has 3 in this period. That also ties the Philadelphia record for assists in a period at 3. Oh my, what an extraordinary blitz by the Flyers. Kerr has scored the 4 goals in 8 minutes and 16 seconds, 3 of them on the power play. That is a record for power play goals in a period in the playoffs. That's 3.